If becoming successful was as difficult as people projected it out to be, why do people become successful every single day? Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. With that being said, because there is no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pen and your paper and be prepared to take notes. In this video specifically, we're going to go over and talk about how and why it's so easy to become successful, as well as 5 recommendations to help you become successful, 5 reminders on why it's not difficult, and some disclaimers and some things that you should be aware of when you start to become successful. Starting off with the disclaimer, starting off with the levels of awareness. If it was so difficult for people to become successful, why are there people out here doing the things that they set their mind to? Why are there people who have achieved and reached their goals? If it was so difficult to lose weight, why do people invest into gym memberships? Why are there personal trainers? Why are there yoga instructors? Why are people going to Pilates? Why are you on YouTube right now searching how to lose weight at home, how to flatten stomach in 30 days? Why are there supplements? Why are there doctors? There are resources, there are tools, and there are finances to help everybody achieve their goals. Now, when you've done something that you've never done before, or when you want to do something, that you've never done before, it is unfamiliar. It's unknown. Just because something is unfamiliar and just because something is unknown doesn't equal difficulty, doesn't equal challenging. You have to realize that when you do something that you've never been taught and shown, you have to become knowledgeable, which means you have to learn. So is it difficult, or are you not willing to learn, or maybe you don't know how? The second disclaimer when it comes to being successful and why it's so easy is that, once again, just because you are unsure of how to become successful doesn't mean it's impossible. Because if you weren't meant to become successful, if it wasn't easy, why would you want to experience it? You have to realize that success is based off of purpose. It's based off of passion. It's based off of intention. So if you're not passionate, if you're not moving with purpose, you're not being intentional, that's why you may feel like it's difficult. That's where people may struggle. If you're not committed, if you're not invested, and you don't realize that this is what you want, you're not desiring this, that's where you have the doubt and the insecurities. And if you guys hear that noise in the background, it's literally the light flickering. The third disclaimer to be aware of: when you decide to become successful, as you are learning a new skill or learning a new thing, you have to be willing to be patient. I feel like the people who think being successful is difficult are people who are impatient. If you've never learned a new language and you decide today that you want to learn a new language, why do you feel like you're going to have everything done within a day? If it took you maybe 20 years, 40 years, 5 years to learn the language that you speak now, don't you think it may take the same amount of time, if not the same amount of energy and effort, to achieve the new language that you're trying to learn, like the new skill, and be successful in? So you have to realize that being successful is time consuming. I don't think it's difficult, because if it was so difficult, why do it? Like, you don't have to become successful. We don't have to achieve our goals. We don't have to have desires. So lastly, being successful is based off of the choices that we make, and like I said, the desires that we want. So now, how do we make our success become easy? Number 1, you need to figure out what it is that you want. In order for you to become successful, you need to know what it is that you want. And it needs to be specific. So for example, you could say that you want to become successful in getting your degree in, let me know a topic down below. I can't think of one, like in a bio major or a biomarine, or you want to get a degree in fashion, or you want to get a degree in whatever you want to get a degree in, political science, or etc. And if these are not topics, just go with the flow, use your imagination. You have to know what it is that you want. You can't say that you're not going to be successful or being successful is difficult if you're not specific about what it is that you want. Once you figure out what it is that you want, you need to know why. Don't just say, oh, I want a degree because I see other people getting degrees, or because I was told that if I didn't agree, I'm not going to be successful. No, you need to know why, because if you're not passionate about something naturally, you have to learn how to become passionate. But that's not difficult if this is what you want. Or let's just say you have a goal, or to be successful, to get a specific car. Let's just say you want a Ford Fusion. Why do you want that Ford Fusion? Don't just say, oh, I want a car, but then not realize that you have to do certain things to get the car. So the second reminder when it comes to being successful, once you know what it is that you want and why you want it, is understanding it comes with a certain level of responsibilities, which means there's a process. What you have to do to get your goals is how you're going to become successful. Like, you can't skip that part. Unless things are handed to you in life, you have to work for them. And that is the main reason, that's 75% on why people do not become successful, because they're not willing to do the labor. They're not willing to do the work. They want a shortcut. They want an elevator. Now, some people do take elevators in life. Some people take the stairs. Speaking from experience, taking the stairs is going to help you have longevity, because when you take the elevator and the power goes out or the cord snap, then what? The same way you get something is the same way it's going to leave. The same way it takes for you to rush through something is the same way it's going to collapse. You want it to last long. You want your success to be a lifestyle, not something that just happens in a day, depending on what it is that you want. So you have to realize that if you're not willing to understand the responsibilities, if you're not willing to realize that you have to unlearn and learn, if you're not willing to realize that you have to be patient, that's when you're going to feel like, oh, being successful is difficult. No, it's not. Because even on the days where you don't feel like doing something, once you understand that level of commitment and consistency and discipline, if this is what you want, you're not going to let go of it. You have to create your success. So the third or fourth thing, I lost count of where I'm at, when it comes to being successful and why it's so easy, is not comparing yourself to other people. So yes, you could see people do the things that you want to do, because like I said, if it was so difficult, there wouldn't be multimillionaires. There wouldn't be content creators with over 1 million subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. There wouldn't be people making $100,000 a month, a week, etc. There wouldn't be doctors. There wouldn't be lawyers. There wouldn't be people buying your first home. There wouldn't be people driving the cars that you want to drive. Like, it all exists. And that's why a lot of people that are into manifestation tell you you already have everything that you want internally. You just have to manifest it externally, because it starts in the mind. It starts with ideas. Just because you have an idea in your mind, just because you talk about something, doesn't mean it's going to show up in your life if you're not open to receive it. Because there are going to be times where you can be in alignment and things do come to you, but you have to know that it's possible and that it's easy. If you say success is going to be difficult, that's all you're going to experience throughout your journey. If you start a business, speaking from experience, when I started my business, I didn't have a mindset that it was going to be difficult. If I thought being an entrepreneur was going to be difficult, I wouldn't have done it. Because once again, if something is hard, if something is difficult, why do it? It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. So you have to be willing to change your mindset. How you change your mindset is showing up, practicing, taking 24 hours a day, doing the best that you can every single day, being practical about your schedule, being intentional about your time management. So what you're able to do when you have days to work, what you're not able to do when you rest. Like, you have to have a routine. You have to have a schedule. But if it's really difficult to lose weight, why do people do it? And even if, like I said, even if people get surgeries, right? And I don't know the surgery for losing weight, but if people were to get surgeries, they still have to maintain their surgery. They still have to heal properly. But it's possible. Don't think that being successful is a negative thing or that it's going to be difficult, because how else would you become successful? Like I said, if you want a car and you're currently walking right now, or you're on a scooter, or you have to Uber to work, and you have to save money for maybe like 4 to 5 months until you get the money for your car, what are you going to do? That's why it's really important that if we want certain things in our life, we need to know, like, we need to take our time. Don't rush to become successful. People who rush may think being successful is difficult, but if you take your time and you're not worried about other people judging you or perceiving you or making fun of you as you become successful is not going to matter, because when you do accomplish your goals, when you do reach where you want to be, it will be worth it. A lot of people in this world are working class people. Not everybody is handed. Like, a good majority of people had to create. And if you're seeing this and you don't have the resources, you don't have the tools, you don't have the support, you don't have the guidance, you have to create your success. But it doesn't have to be difficult. Like, yes, if you want a car and you're walking, you have to be okay with that. Some days you may feel like tired because you're used to walking. Some days it may rain. Some days it may snow. Like, the weather may impact you. You may have some things that you go through. When you're going through moments, instead of looking at it as a difficult moment, either rest, slow down, or figure out what can you do to overcome this problem. But it doesn't have to be difficult. When you start a business, instead of feeling overwhelmed, instead of I don't know why I'm getting tongue twisted. Instead of feeling so frustrated, I think it's because it's the lights. These lights are super duper bright. I need to work on my setup. But anyways, instead of getting overwhelmed and so frustrated, just accept the fact that I'm just starting a business. I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's okay. Like I said, that's the trial and error. That's learning. Like, people are like, oh, you gotta fail in order to be successful. It's so difficult. You don't have to fail. Failing is when you don't try, when you don't do, when you don't accomplish your goals. You're not gonna know. And another thing too, you have to let go of a timeline and limitation. That's why people think it's so difficult to become successful, because in their minds, they think it's supposed to happen a certain type of way. What if it doesn't? Especially when you're doing something for the first time. Now, if you have a little bit more experience and you've done something before, then it's like, okay, you have an idea, but at any moment that idea can change. So it's like, with your plan and your direction and your purpose, you have to become adaptable. Once you learn how to become adaptable, once you learn how to adjust to certain things, then it's like, okay, this becomes easier. And that's the same thing with life. Once you learn how to adapt to your problems and trials and tribulations, you're able to dodge certain things, and you're able to realize, like, okay, a lot of things that you consider to be difficult or challenging is necessary. But it's like, if you take your time and you're not worried about people judging you or perceiving you, why would you not become successful? The most valuable thing you can do in order for you to be successful is to be patient. Like, you have to be able to know what it is that you're doing, and you can't be afraid. If you're afraid in the beginning, it's common, but you can't have that attitude. Like, a lot of people complain the entire time, and that's why people think it's difficult. If you want to grow your business from $0 to $1 million, that's going to take some time, especially if you want it to last. Because it's like, once we reach our goals, then what? What do you do afterwards? That middle time, that process, that grit, that foundation helps you maintain what it is that you're wanting, instead of feeling like you did all this work and then it's gone. It doesn't make sense to do that. So this is just a friendly reminder. Change your perspective. Anytime you feel like success is difficult, you need to pause and you need to figure out why. So as your homework assignment, I am challenging you to figure out, why do you feel like success is so difficult? And to let me know down in the comment section down below, so we can come up with a solution. And if you're new here, we have challenges, we have homework assignments where we inform you, we motivate you, and educate you. So therefore, like I said, as you're taking what resonates, as you apply this information, you could see results. But I need to know, why do you feel like success is so difficult? Why do you feel like it's going to be so difficult for you to lose weight if you find the resources, the tools, and the support? Now, once again, if you don't have those things, it's not difficult. It's just unfamiliar. And to be honest, that is going to determine if you're going to become successful, is how well you handle adversity, how well you handle problems. Now, of course, if you weren't shown and taught how to handle problems in the beginning, once again, very common. But after a while, once you become educated, once you watch these videos, you don't have an excuse. You keep crying, you keep whining, you said you wanted a sign, you're either going to take it or you leave it, or you can go somewhere else and find something that somebody's going to tell you, and it's going to be the same thing. But I personally don't surround myself with people who say, oh, it's going to be difficult. If it's difficult, why do it? You have to be willing to go through the challenge. And it just determines what type of person you are. Now, it also depends, like I said, on how bad you want something. If you want it, you're going to do what's necessary. You're going to be patient. You may have to take weeks and months and even years and even decades. Andre Talley, rest in peace to him, said sometimes it may even take 30 years. Don't put a timeline on your success. So with that being said, your homework assignment is due in the comment section or in the next video when you see this in the next comment section or underneath the next video. And make sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Follow me on my Instagram and on my TikTok specifically. I will be going live answering you guys' questions if you need to, as well as booking your service and your session at my website. All the information is down in the description box below. If you're not able to book a service and a session, DM me on Instagram asking me any questions, comments, concerns, or let me know in the community section on YouTube. But being successful is not difficult. We don't want it to be difficult. We don't want it to be challenging, because once again, if it's so difficult, so challenging, why would you do it? You don't have to do it. You know, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But if you say you want to do something, if you say you want something, I'm going to hold you accountable, because I'm holding myself accountable. You have to realize that it requires a lot of patience, and it just requires you to do things. If you want to lose weight, then you can't cry about having to go to the gym 3 times, 4 times a week for an hour. That's what you said. You wanted that summer body. I mean, summer is over with when I'm posting this, but you said, and even with myself, you guys, I'm currently on a diet. I started yesterday. September 1st was yesterday. It's September 2nd when I'm recording this. So it's certain things that I have to do. Like, I was already on a diet and I saw the results and I was happy and I was satisfied. So I'm going to continue, because there's a goal that I want to reach. And it's like, if I really want to achieve, you know, better physical health, then I can't complain about doing certain things. I can't complain about cutting off certain foods or certain drinks or certain beverages or certain sweets, you know, if this is what we want. So just make sure you know what you want. Make sure you take the time and realize what comes with it. And like I said, if you don't have the finances and the resources and the tools, okay, cool. We could start from there. But most importantly, check out my 30-day consistency challenge. I may make a new one with updated information. It breaks down what success looks like, what consistency looks like, and why it's so important to take your time and not compare yourself. But most importantly too, before I end off the video, even though I said that like a minute ago, don't worry about people, places, and things who are not working in the direction as you. Because when people are not even doing what you're doing, they're going to try to project onto you. Don't listen to them. The camera got cut off. I cannot stand when that happens, but that's because I had my alarm set. Don't listen to people who don't pour into you emotionally, physically, or financially. If people are not doing the things that you want to do or have done the things that you want to do, don't worry about when or how they think you're supposed to be successful. Like, there's a lot of people I've outgrown that are no longer in my life that had a lot to say, but they had to realize what I'm doing and where they are in life. We're not even on the same frequency. And it's not even about being superior or being better, but it's just like they've settled in their life. I'm not settling in my life. And the things that I want, all to y'all shade, it's not common. It's not average. If it was so common, if it was so average, everybody would be doing it. Everybody doesn't want to be successful, but for those who are successful, it's not hard. It's not difficult, okay? Love you, bye.